In today's video, I want to explain to you guys step by step how to start a business in South Africa. Good day, my name is Heinrich. I'm the owner of SA Accounting Network and I've been in the accounting industry since 2008, but I've been an entrepreneur since 1993. So I've been around the block a couple of times to starting businesses and to manage businesses. And I think one of the questions that we get asked quite often is just the process of how to start a business. And we're going to look in the video at all the different government departments. We're going to look at CIPC and we can look at the Receiver of Revenue, Department of Labor. I'm going to touch on bookkeeping system, payroll system, where accountants fit into the picture as well. So so I think just before I start with the talk, just remember to give the video a like and remember to subscribe to my channel, and then let me talk you guys through the process. So let me jump into my computer and then I can share quickly what this is about. Yes, so the talk that I want to present to you guys is how to start a business in South Africa. And I know there's a lot of material out there, but I think from an accountant's perspective, we work with it on a daily basis. So I want to give you guys a step-by-step breakdown of exactly how to do or how to go about starting a business in South Africa. So I think, let me just get my slideshow to work over here. So all the different things that I'm going to discuss today. So remember, the discussion that I'm doing today is regarding owner-managed businesses. So if you are starting a big business, let's say for instance, you're looking at a big business with lots of different shareholders and stuff, then I would recommend that you guys must go see auditors because they can assist you to set up those big business structures. So the talk today is specifically focused on owner-managed businesses. So those are all your small businesses where there's maybe just one or two owners in the business, and that is the talk that I'm going to present. If you're starting a bigger business as well, you can look at the video. There's a lot of valuable information that will be relevant to your business as well, but the video is focused to smaller type of businesses. So the stuff that we're going to look at or touch on quickly is just business structures. We're going to look at that. We're going to talk about CIPC, who they are, what they do. We're going to talk about opening up bank accounts, SARS or the Receiver of Revenue. We're going to touch on the Department of Labor, how that works. We're going to touch quickly on bookkeeping systems, payroll software, and obviously accounting services where that fits into the picture as well. So the first one, business structures. And I think in South Africa, if you've got an owner or owner-managed business, there's two business structures that you can use as either sole proprietors or companies. And I've done a separate talk on my YouTube channel, and I want you guys to go check that video out where I do a comparison of the two different things, and I talk about the pros and the cons of the two different type of structures of how sole proprietors work and how companies work. Our first choice that we always recommend to people, that if you are serious about doing a business, my recommendation is always to go for the company route, because you obviously, the business is structured better and you do they have a little bit of protection inside a company as well, which is really, really beneficial. So go check out that video. I did a whole comparison about sole proprietors versus companies, how that works, and I'm probably going to share the link of that video in the description of this video as well, and I'll probably share it at the top as well. Next thing, CIPC. So if you do decide that you want to go the formal route of registering a company, then CIPC is the website where you will do that registration. So once again, over here you've got two different options. You can attempt to do the registration yourself, or you can use the services of somebody that can do the registration for you. And if you decide that you want somebody else to come and do it for you, then I'm going to share the link of somebody that I recommend all my people to use as well in the description of this video as well. So you can go check out their website, and then you can use their services. If you do decide to go for it yourself, you need to search for CIPC. Once you get to the CIPC website, you'll see that they've got a lot of different portals, or they call it portals, but all of them basically do the same thing. So the one that you've got there is which is called Bizportal, which is quite nice to register. There's got a couple of nice functionalities over there, especially if you're starting a business, because if you go through the Bizportal website itself, like I say, if you search for CIPC, look for the Bizportal one, go check it out over there. You register with your ID number, and obviously you must create a password. And what's really important, if you do that registration, they're going to give you a customer code which you must not lose. If you forget that customer code, then it means that you're going to sit on a call center probably for hours to try and retrieve that customer code. It's really, really important that you keep that customer code. On the Bizportal website, the first option that you would have, obviously, I think they give you two options. Is actually to register a company without a name. Then I think the cost is like 125 Rand, where if you first register a name or do application to get a name for your company, that's going to be the first step. Even if you use the e-services platform, is also the first step, is first to reserve a name. So you normally can give them like 5 different possible names that you want to use for your business. They're going to go through the list, and then they're going to say, okay, name number 2 is the one that they approve. That name reservation process cost you 50 Rand. Once you've got the name reservation done, then you can go to the next step to register the actual company. So the whole cost of registering a company, whether you're using Bizportal or E Services, both of them cost 175 Rand. At the moment, things do change. So if you're watching the video and it's not 175 Rand, that is what it is. Obviously, prices do go up, so just go check out what the cost is over there. And the advantage that you've got, if you use Bizportal, then you'll see that you're actually able to register some of your Department of Labour stuff through that portal as well. Although it does take a long time for them to get back to you, but you can register UIF and workman compensation through Bizportal. So I think the idea with the Bizportal website was to make it like a one-stop shop type of thing, where one place you go, you register your company, the theory is that you're supposed to be able to open a bank account, get your UIF numbers, all the stuff in the same place. It's not working, I think, in my opinion, as what they were trying to make it work, or make it work. But it's a good system. We really do enjoy working in Bizportal. The old system was the e-services one, which has got a bit more functionality than the other ones. And the new e-services system, we worked a little bit on that system, but I think Bizportal, in my opinion, is just the superior system to use at this stage, especially if you try and register your own company. I think it's the most user-friendly system is the Bizportal one to use currently. So once you got CIPC registered, what will happen? First step is you must do a name reservation. After that, you must complete the form on the website to register the company. They're going to send some documents back to you that you as the director and the incorporator of the company need to sign. You have to email that back to them together with copies of the IDs and all that type of stuff. You'll see that on the email that they send you with the documents that you have to sign, they give you a list of the requirements that you need to send through. Send it through to them. Normally within a day or two, you would have your company registered. So I think the whole process from doing the name reservation until the time that your company is registered, maximum will take about 2 weeks. So it's a really quick and fast process to go through. So that's first step. If you decide that you want to trade as a sole proprietor, then you can obviously skip this step because you're not going to be registering a separate legal entity. You are going to be trading in your own personal name, so you don't need to worry about CIPC, which is a little bit of a benefit. But I think in the long term, company is the better route, just in my opinion. Then the next step after you've done CIPC is you need to go open up a bank account, because without a bank account, your company can't trade. So if you go to your bank, obviously your choice of bank will depend on you, which one you want to use. I mean, there's lots of different banks in South Africa. I think the more popular ones is probably Standard Bank, Absa, Nedbank, FNB. So those I think as the main options that you can register your bank or go register a bank account for your business. So what they normally require when you go to the bank to open up your business bank account is take your registration documents that you got from CIPC, take the copies of your IDs and your original IDs, maybe even certify your IDs, take a proof of address for you, because obviously you're going to be the owner of the business. They want to see where they're going to send the bank statements and stuff through. And then normally most of the banks, a lot of the banks, you can actually just walk in with the registration documents, and within an hour you can walk out with a bank account open, money in the bank account with a bank card and all that type of stuff. Shop around. Like I say, your bank is your own personal choice that which one you want to use. But you can't do anything further if you haven't opened up your bank account, because once again, remember, if you open up a company, there's a separate legal entity, so you must have a bank account for your business. After that, and now becomes the receiver of revenue. You will see when you do the registration of the company, the receiver of revenue is going to send you an email, and on that email is going to state your tax number. So all companies, as nurses registered with CIPC, it's going to have a company tax number by default. So you don't need to do anything. It's already registered. And if you go check out, I'm going to record a separate video later where I'm going to talk about the responsibilities of directors of companies, where we're going to dive a little bit into what you guys need to do when you're registered for company tax. We're going to touch a little bit on it on the last slide as well. But company tax number, so that is default. You're going to get the email. So what's important after that, and people forget about this step, until it's quite often too late, is you need to activate a representative. So if you go to the SARS website, And I've actually done a separate video once again on how to do this as well. So go check out on my channel about activating the representatives. There's two ways. You can either make an appointment with the receiver of revenue and do it that route, or otherwise on the website itself, on the SARS website, I think it's on online services. There's a link over there where you can upload the representative documents. It normally takes about a week or so for the receiver of revenue to activate that. But if you haven't activated the representative, you can't do anything else at the receiver of revenue. What the representative is basically about is just that if you don't end up paying your taxes, they want to know who they can contact and which door they can go and start knocking to collect the taxes that you owe them. So that representative part is really important. The problem is a lot of people forget about it, and then it gets to year end and all of a sudden now you want to start running around, get the representative activated, and it takes a long time. Like I say, it's not a thing of just the day today you send the stuff, tomorrow the representative is activated. So you need to make sure that as soon as you register your company, try and do this step as soon as possible. Don't delay, otherwise you can run into trouble. Once you have the representative activated, then obviously use the director of the company. It would be advisable for you personally to have an e-filing profile. If you're not registered on e-filing, go check out the SARS e-filing website. Do the registrations, at least you've got your own profile. And then what will happen is, because you've got a company registered on that company or on your e-filing profile, because you're the director of the company, you can then go and link your company to your e-filing profile as well. You can attempt it yourself. It is not too difficult, but quite often this is where accountants and tax consultants normally get involved, because it becomes a little bit more technical at this stage of the year. So the next step is, once again, tax number gets issued by default. You're going to activate the representative, then you're going to link your company to your e-filing profile. Once that is done, you'll be able to access the company tax information. So you'll probably be able to do your provisional taxes, and you can do your company tax returns. After you've linked that profile, there's a place where you can manage the information of the company, and on that profile over there, on that one place over there, is a place where you can register the company for pay as you earn, and you can register the company for VAT. So just once again, with that system, it's a little bit of a weird system, because you must first do the application for the pay as you earn number, and even for the VAT number, they're going to issue you with the VAT number, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are able to file the return. So there's another place in e-filing where you need to go link the pay as you earn number to that specific profile, so you can actually access the returns, you see. So I think that e-filing system is something that has evolved since 2010. So they just keep on adding new stuff to the system the whole time. And that's why it's almost like a little bit of a spider web there to have to navigate through to make sure that you find the right buttons to do the functions that you need this thing to do. Once again, like I said, if you're battered over here, I would suggest get involved with or ask a tax consultant to assist you with this, so you can just make sure that the structure is in place. So when it comes to time to actually start doing returns, that you have everything in place over here. So it's really, really important. So I think those are the big three things for the receiver of revenue. You must obviously make sure that you get access to your company tax stuff, provisional tax and company tax returns, pay as you earn returns, and VAT returns. I think that's really, really important to make sure that you have that structure in place even before you start trading, because otherwise you're going to pick up problems over there. Next one, Department of Labor. So remember that I spoke a little bit earlier about the Bizportal website. So on that website, you can apply for a UIF number, and you can apply for workman compensation, but it doesn't mean, once again, that you can actually submit the return. So I would suggest that you go to the e-filing website itself. So if you just Google e-filing, first you would have to register yourself on e-filing so that you can become a user on the e-filing platform. And then once you activated that thing, and this is once again one of the things that you as the owner of the company would have to do yourself, because part of the e-filing registration, you obviously put in your ID number, put in your full name, surname, you create your username and a password. And when you log in the first time, there's some security questions, like probably a 5 or 6, that they ask that we won't know as your accountants. You're the only person that's going to know that. So they ask stuff like, have you ever lived at this address? Were you ever married? If you were married, what was the date of your marriage? So just stupid stuff like that. When was your ID book issued? So those are all things that we wouldn't know. So that is one step that you as the owner of the company must do. We can't do it on your behalf. go to efiling, register, so you can actually just access that system. Once you're registered on efiling, then you need to go and register the company on efiling. So on that same profile over there, there's a little button over there that says register company. They will make sure that you are one of the owners of that company. Otherwise, you can't go register somebody else's company on your profile. So you would have to make sure that you are one of the directors of the company. You go register the company on efiling, and then once that is registered, they will issue you with a UIF number, which means that on a monthly basis, you can do your UIF returns. And then, so that basically covers UIF, and then the next thing is to register the company for workman compensation. Once again, if you go search for register WCA online, it will take you to a different portal as well, and then over there you can go through the registration process. It's not too difficult, but I'm gonna share contact details of people that I use personally with my accounting practice as well, that does most of our efiling registrations and most of our workman compensation registrations. The problem with those type of things is it's not difficult, but if something goes wrong, then you've got a problem, because it means that you're going to have to sit hours and hours and hours with the Department of Labour on the phone, working through call centers to try and resolve any issues, where if you get somebody and you pay that person a fee to do the registration, you know it's out of your hands, they do these things on a daily basis, and within a day or two they'll give you your UIF number, you'll get your workman compensation number, you can get your letter of good standing from these guys. So that is one of the benefits, once again, of using the services of an accountant or of somebody that can assist you with the registration for those at the Department of Labour. So I think we covered the Department of Labour. Like I said in the other video that I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about your responsibilities, how often you need to file returns and all that type of stuff, but we're not going to do that yet. So once the Department of Labour is sorted out, then what's really important, I think once you get there, then most of the compliance stuff is sorted out, because you've got your company registered, you are registered on e-filing, you've got access to your pay-as-you-earn number, you've got access to all your UIF stuff, you have access to your workman compensation. So now it comes down to the more practical side of running a business. And one of the key things is you must make sure that you have a proper bookkeeping system, that you can keep track of your income and your expenses, that you can send invoices out to your clients, keep track of who owes you money and all those type of things. So the two more traditional systems that we use in South Africa is obviously, the first one is desktop bookkeeping systems, which means that the software is placed or installed on your physical computer, so you will only have a copy of that data on your computer itself. So if you do use desktop versions, you must make sure that you make proper backups of those things, and that you'll be able to recover the data if something happens to your computer. Otherwise, you don't want to sit and do a year's work and all of a sudden your computer crashes and all the information is gone. So those are the more older traditional type of things, and I think especially because of the risk involved with that, most people these days are moving over to cloud accounting packages. In South Africa, we've got three main ones. We've got Sage Cloud Accounting Package, which I've done a lot of videos on as well. You can go check it out. Then the second one is Hero Accounting, and then the third one is QuickBooks Online. So I think those are the three main role players in South Africa when it comes to cloud accounting packages. I see I made a small spelling mistake over there. Yes, but I would recommend, my personal choice for smaller type of business is definitely Sage. I think they're definitely the most user-friendly in my opinion. There's nothing wrong with the other two as well. Like I said, it's just a personal choice that we work with Sage. Payroll software. I think once you've got a bookkeeping system, once you start working with salaries and stuff, it's really important that you must have a payroll system as well, so that you as the director make sure that your salaries and stuff is processed correctly, and even for your employees to make sure that you deduct the right amount of tax, that you deduct UIF and skills development, DEV and all those type of things. So my two main recommendations is vanilla payroll. If you go check out on my YouTube channel, I've done a lot of videos on vanilla payroll as well, so you can go download the system over there. You can use it free for a period of about 3 months. Then after that, you need to start paying a minimal fee to start using the payroll. The other one is obviously Sage Payroll, which is very closely related to Sage accounting packages as well. So I think if you use both of them at the same time, they complement each other. So I think that's really a nice option to use as well. And then accounting services. So I think personally, you can run a business without having an accountant involved, but I think there's a little bit of risk involved with that. It's the same as when you get sick and you treat yourself versus when you go to a doctor and the doctor treats you. So just a very short summary of everything that needs to happen in a 12-month cycle when it comes to accounting services, and that's where accountants are really important. Just during the course of the year, There's 2 provisional tax returns that needs to be done, 1 company tax return that needs to be done. So both of those are linked to your income tax number. Then, during the course of the year, if you work with salaries, there's 12 pay-as-you-earn returns that needs to be done. So you need to do 1 a year, 1 a month. There's 2 pay-as-you-earn reconciliations that needs to be done. And then the second one, you need to issue your employees with RP5. So that is normally in August and in February. CIPC, in your anniversary month of the company, you need to file a return with them once a year to make sure, or to inform them that your company is still active, what the turnover is, and all that type of stuff. And then at CIPC, there's another thing as well that you need to file once a year, which is the beneficial ownership submission. So that is something quite new as well, but it's really, really important that you do those submissions as well. If you are registered for value-added tax, remember there's at least a minimum of 6 VAT returns that you need to do every year. So there's 1 return every 2 months. UIF, once again, UIF and your salaries, your pay-as-you-earn runs hand in hand. So every month you need to file a UIF return to let them know who worked for you for the previous month. And then workman compensation, there's once a year a return that you need to do for workman compensation. Like I said, I'm going to do a bit more in detail video at a later stage about this and just the responsibilities of you as a director of the company, so that you know what you need to do when you're running a small business. And then obviously with accounting service as well, what's really important is now to have a consultant close by, that if you have questions regarding your accounting and the way that you're running your business, then obviously you can consult with your tax consultant or with your accountant to get the best advice of how to run your business and how to grow your business. And I think that is in a nutshell what it takes to start and to run a business in South Africa. So once again, if you like the video, remember to give the video a like, remember to subscribe to my channel, and then keep an eye out for the next video. Thanks for watching.